are a smart worker or a hard worker, people don't realize when to rest. So I think that's really important. Yes. Do you also struggle with that?
I struggle with that a lot, especially as an artist, because you would be like recently I went to bed, which is at like 1 a.m. and then now you're drifting, and then an idea comes.
Oops.
And unfortunately with songs, I don't know with other art, but with songs, a song comes and goes. If you miss that opportunity you have to write that song, then it will never sahau tu. Because me, I've lost so many songs because nimekuwa like tanilale, you get. But unfortunately that song is like really good. So you have to just get your guitar, you start practicing, unapigia jirani kelele nini, then kidogo unajua 6 a.m. imefika. Unapigia simu, oya, unafaa kwa hapa, unafaa kufanya ABCD. Ndio hivyo umetoka kwa nyumba, you get. Yeah, so it's challenging. It's challenging, especially within the art world. I find it more challenging because I don't have anything against what we do 9 to 5, but and it's also a decision I made because nearly realized nikidu job 9 to 5, I think you work 8 to 9 hours. The truth is, if you're going to do art and you want it to feed you, or anything that you want to feed you, anything you're start up here, you will work more hours. You will work more hours.
It's roughly 24 hours for
every single day. You have to. Isi ile ya kupushiwa. Unaona, isi ile ya unangoja mshahara the end of the day. Wewe mshahara. Usipofanyia kazi hakuna kitu unakula. Unalala njaa. So it's a struggle, but I feel like it is possible to balance. Personally, sijafika point to balance because personally the way I believe it works is una set out goals. Of course kuna the bigger goal and then there's smaller goals. So ukifika that smaller goal and you stability, then now you can create the balance. Now unaweza tuma watu haya enda huko, mimi nataka kulala, wewe fanya hii.
So before we dive into your EPs and into your new music that you have been releasing, I want us to talk about your live performances. Your regulars and everything, how you connect to people, what's kind of your network, who do you play to and you feel huyo nimemguza, you get? Even especially the age, do you have a problem maybe with age and something like that?
Well, I play gigs. Gigs for me is the regular event you do at a place where you're being paid like a monthly salary. And in those gigs I play a lot of covers, but I'm also specific with the covers I play. Because I believe music, like I said, is meant to communicate. It's meant to be beautiful, what we're dancing in, but pia iseme kitu at the end of the day. So you'd hardly find me saying or singing music that lacks content. I would sometimes, like once in a while, kujibamba tu, but you're no objective kujibamba, you get it? But the audiences that I play to, I try to cater to, and I've any feedback I received from everyone I've worked with. Every time I play a set, it cuts across every cultural barrier that might exist, and it's intentional because you realize in Kenya we are so multicultural. We're so multicultural, and I feel it's a strength for me. Imenisaidia ndio hata nikianza kufanya shows za majuna nini nitakuwa na something to offer. But Kenya as a country is very multicultural. Kama watu waelewani juu ya tribe, hawaelewani juu ya age group, ama hawaelewani juu ya skin color, ama hawaelewani juu ya level of
like
education.
We have everyone's problem from different countries.
So every time I intentionally make a set, and I feel that like that's my value as me, Isaya. Every time I make a set of songs, it caters to every single person. Kuna mtu fulani atabambika, kuna mzee fulani atabambika, kila mseto atafeel ako represented in that a way or the other.
Do you think when you're having like live performances and everything else, do you think there's a thin line between having someone as a client and having someone as, you can be romantic with or you can form friendships with? Because I feel sometimes most of our artists, because of a lot of saga here and there or what happened, you get, they lack that barrier between this is professional, this is not.
To be honest, the line is very, very thin. And I think the reason for that is because are generally very lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very lonely. Like, it's hard for an artist to find someone. Okay, personally, in my contact list, there are more people. If any person calls me, they want something, not want to know how I'm doing.
Yeah.
The only person who used to do that was my late mom. You get. So currently, a majority, yani wase tu, niaje, kuna ina, niaje, kuna ina. So unapata ukikuwa kwa situation ya gig, and then the truth is, man, as an artist, kuna tu vile unakaga attractive kwa stage. You get.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
There's that aura in the stage.
Exactly.
Like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then someone comes out and like,
So you can approach a client, because that's something I do. I like to talk to the clients who I play to. I just washukuru kwa kuja, wasalimie, maybe exchange a contact, nini. But you find that the line is very thin in that you can find yourself crossing that line. Yeah, crossing it. It's not wise, personally. I don't believe it's wise because it creates a lot of conflict of interest. A lot. Because again, the truth is, and I say this a lot, I joke like this in my shows. I tell them, audience wasitukatie kwa sababu, yeah, we will break your heart. As an artist, we'll break your heart. Not intentional, it's just that sometimes, yeah, we are not very good people.
Also, there's a saying, you can turn your client into your friend, but not your friend into your client. So this...
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah, so if you bring a client so close that he becomes so, you get like so attached to you, then they will stop being a client. And that's your...
Converting them back.
You get. So, and that's your food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, do you work with people maybe who feel hapa ni struggle kidogo, huyu lazima nimwambie hivi?
Well, okay, for the true fans, because I've started to have like true fans, which is very surprising for me. But for the true fans, I like talking. We talk, but I wouldn't say we talk every day, because personally, I'm not a very. In as much as I like talking to people when we're like this. Yeah. But like at Pigesimu, we go hang out, tricky. So I even find that I have very few friends, like very few. I think I have like 1 friend or 2 friends or 3 friends or 5 as the giant one. You get. Yeah. So I have very few people I consider friends, and therefore very few people I would make time to. You get. So I think because of that personality trait, which is bad, I guess sometimes, it's very hard for me to make a client a friend. Yeah, we talk, we connect, but the people who when you improve kwa true fans, but I really appreciate them. I can go an extra mile.
You cannot. So on that, I want you now to why Isaya Live? Why Isaya Band and not just a band, or you name it something different?
It's because I'm trying to brand myself as Isaya. Everything I want. So Isaya is my name. When I was given that name belonged to my grandfather, my father's father, and he was a pastor. And I remember when I was given that name and I was told his occupation, there was this pressure. You know how parents are.
Yeah.
Kijana kako katakuwa ka pastor kama grandfather wake, And now it got to me, because me, I was like, no, they don't be a pastor.
There's another way.
Yes, and I did, no offense to anyone, but I never really had a positive picture of a pastor. So for a long time, I was trying to escape that name, like for a very long time. Until, because I've also called myself many things, but until the point where I was like, okay, this is who I am and I need to own it. Especially because the turning point I would also say would happen when I was discovering myself spiritually. And in that discovery, I was like, okay, yeah, this is who I am. Jonny Isaya, yeah, so it's just that I've never had anyone who is called John actually being called John. It's just the Jonny, because everyone calls me Jonny. So Jonny Isaya, the word is not very necessary. I don't think there's any artist who uses 3 names. So Jonny Isaya is who I am.
We're going to go into your EPs. How many EP have you had, and how many songs on each?
I think I've had 3, 2 released, 1 not yet released. In each EP, I think they're roughly the ones that have been released. I think maybe 5 songs in each, 5, 6, they vary. But even the creation of those EPs were not very focused because I started recording music almost immediately after high school because we had a rap group with my friends called Cream Level. Shout out to Dietrich and Vinci. We had a rap group and we were really dope, we were really good. But just life, because now it's after high school. Because we used to rap a lot in high school. But after high school, people just sort of drifted and found other interests. But they still do music. They still do music. And we still partner from time to time. But after living that whole period of my life, because then even I was called a different name, I used to be called Jonny Isaya. After living that period of my time, I realized that I've recorded a lot of music, but it's not really objective. I didn't really have a purpose with the writing, and like the songs are good, but they don't have an intention, they don't have purpose. So this next EP that I'm releasing called Naliaka EP is the first EP that I'm doing that is a bit more focused on saying something. Because a body of work is supposed to be like that. At least that's how I believe as a musician. It's supposed to have a general message. Yeah. So, but the previous EPs are really good as well. You can find them on my Spotify, Jonny Isaya, my Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. You can find them everywhere. But they're not really, they're raps. Most of them are raps because that's what I couldn't sing for shit. I started singing roughly 7 years ago because I had to teach myself how to sing. Because people are not too friendly out here, But I had to teach myself how to sing, and this is the first EP that has more songs than raps. There's still raps here and there, but more singing than rapping.
So why name it Naliaka?
So Naliaka is the name of my late mom who passed away last year. COVID. She was my world, still is. She taught me a lot about life. But the one thing that I can say she taught me is how to love. And unfortunately, I could discover that it was a wingy about you. Just how to love. It sounds simple, but it's a very complex concept, Yeah. But she taught me how to love because what I realized, especially during her funeral and eulogies and all that, I realized that it was weird that she managed to be there for everyone. Like everyone felt content with how much she was there for them. But then you look at the work she put in, because she will be there for her brothers and sisters, cousins, the children of those ones, us, her husband, the relatives of her husband. She's there for everyone. She's just there for everyone, her workmates, So she was a very interesting woman. And thinking about, because the songs in the EP that specifically talk about that love, that experience, and I was fortunate to experience with the time we shared when she was here. Thinking about that, I've written some music that really talks about how it's just, love is deeper than we think. Love is deeper than we think. And it is from that I even derived my identity. Because mimi nilikuwa kibeti yake, like mimi ndo nilikuwa huyo mtoto mwenye always ako tu hapo kienda sokoni, ukienda sio wapi, uko tu hapo. Hata hakuna kitu na salon, uko tu hapo. So yeah, I having experienced life with her, I learned how to love. And that's what I want to tell people, that love is very complex, very complicated sometimes, but if you learn how to do it, it's a very good thing. Not only for you, but for the people around you.
And we're mentioning love, but you're not like breaking it down, Kidogo, because most time when someone says I love you, they feel, those two are together romantically, right? But we say we love each other. Like I can say to you I love you, I can say to my friends, to my parents, to like you get. So how does it turn for you? Because come to think about it, you're an artist. You interact with so many people on stage. You tell your audience, I love you, and they're like,
Okay, love. Hey, writing this EP has even made me be philosophical about love. Because after looking at philosophy, you'll find that there are different categories of of love. There's eros, there's storge, there's philios, there's different kinds of love,
Yes.
And the philosophers back then, it's something that was clear that the way I love you is different from the way I love my parent. It's different from the way I love a friend or all these are love, but they're different. Categories of love. But now there's the love above all, which is agape love, the love of God. And I can strongly and genuinely say that if you learn how to love like God, then you will cover everything. You won't have to categorize them.
Yeah.
You will cover everything. You will love your partner and love a friend and you will just naturally understand the boundaries. You just know. You get? Because sometimes relationships, people get insecure, because beshtako, or if you have a person, a partner, atakuwa uncomfortable if you have maybe like a best friend of the opposite sex,
Say that.
atakuwa too insecure about it, just naturally.
Yeah.
Why a boy? Why do you have to have a boy best friend? You get? So I came to understand that it's that lack of understanding of love that brings such insecurities and such misunderstandings.
Yeah.
And they happen a lot. They happen so much. And even the lack of understanding of love is what has led to me personally. I'm still on that journey, by the way. That's why I've not answered the question like directly. I'm still trying to understand love.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to do it from God's perspective, because I get kuelewa that hiyo ndo the best way to do it. Because you can't, I feel it impossible. Because hapo itaingia into selfishness.
True.
If you have a partner, na yeye anataka umpende tu yeye. Hataki upende wase, hataki waambie wase wengine I love you. You get? Anakuwa selfish. That's not love.
True.
You get? And I feel love is supposed to be, hivi. Unanipenda na kupenda, tunapendana. You get? Si ati unanipenda kuliko vile mimi nakupenda. Unaget? Ama vile unanipenda na vile mimi nakupenda ni tofauti. I don't feel like that makes sense. You get? Because if you're in a relationship with someone, I'm sorry if I'm talking too much about relationships, but it's because that's how people identify with love. If you're in a relationship with someone, and you find it in so many relationships, especially for the female, unapata the guy akona maybe a career, but yeye anajiona kama breadwinner, unaget? But yeye haelewi that udem pia kuna kitu anataka kuduna life yake, unaona? So love would be supporting your partner in whatever they want to do, not setting. By then to grow up, tuachane na hizo maziji traditions they do. Yani to grow tu, yani you get the current world we live in. It makes sense to have a partner who also earns, for very many reasons. I don't even want to get into them, but for very many reasons it makes sense. So it's only insecurity that will make you be like, hapana, spendi vile boss yako na familia, wacha kazi. No.
Ama don't be around that person. Ama why are you working with
Why
him
you
and
working
not?
with
You
him?
get?
Yes.
Why don't you find a woman? And we've had that.
It's foolishness.
On the EP, how many songs?
There are 10 songs. Originally there are 10 songs, but I added one extra song because it's a vibe. But so in total there are 11 songs.
Okay.
11 songs. Each of them says something different about not only Naliaka, but about love. Because for me, she is the representation of love, the manifestation of love. If you were to ask me, what is love? I point to Naliaka. That is love. You get it? So the song talks about Tofauti.
Can you just briefly maybe name them?
Yes, there's Bwana Radio, which I've released, doing quite well, better than I expected. There's Wasili, there is Koinange, there is Naliaka, there is Rose, which is also her name, there is Nasikia Sauti, there is She Prays For Me, there is Cinderella, there is, which other one? Prays For Me, Cinderella, hey, oh, there's Smile, there is I'm Fine, so it's called I'm Fine. Then the last one is, I've forgotten the last one.
The vibe one.
The vibe one was Cinderella. Forgotten the last one. Forgotten the last one.
Okay.
But yeah, but
Wasili
I've said, yeah. But I've tried even to say them in order. But yeah, because if you listen to them in order, there's something you will get. But yeah, the songs are, they're very dope. They're very good songs. There are songs I wrote at different points of my life. They each mean different things, which you don't have time, but they each mean different things. Yeah, depending on. So I'm sure kila mtu relate na each song in a different way. And that's the beauty of art anyway. Si lazima wewe interpret vile mimi interpret.
Okay, how do you distribute your music? Do you think Kenya has, a proper way of doing it? Am I still figuring it out?
So I am still figuring it out because this is my first time trying to be a mainstream artist, or rather a recording artist. And I found it very difficult because this first song I put up on a radio, I don't know why, because it's a good song. Like, it's generally a good song.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I found it very challenging to get it played on air.
20 minutes. Nimebaki.
Oh, I don't know why it's challenging trying to get it played on air. Despite it being a good song. And yet, if Ed Sheeran were to release a song today, you will hear it on radio today. You get? Him is all the way in the UK, you know. When I say I understand, but I don't understand. As in, I understand in the aspect of someone like him is signed to a very big record label, a universal, as in a worldwide record label. And he doesn't do his distribution. The music is distributed for him. So in that way, that's how it gets to be played on Keys or on Easy or on all these radio stations that we listen to. Yeah, and that's what is different for me. The fact that I'm not signed to a big record label, it's harder for me to do that. But now where I don't understand is I'm a Kenyan, and the song is good. They can give you a Chiran vibe, but they can give you, Sauti Soul vibes. They can give you Burna Boy vibes. I can give you all the vibes you want. So my point is, I feel like it could be better. The channel yenye tunafaa kama wasanii yenye tunafaa kupitia kupenya inafaa kuwa easier. I feel like it should be easier. And I feel like even if a song is trash, just play it, because the only way msanii atajua ni trash ni akipata feedback ya audience. Ukipata kucheza ata feel ngoma ni noma bana.
I think it comes down to corporations or organizations that do that, or distribution or marketing. Because even when I was consulting, because I'm working with you, is the challenge is they won't do it.
Yes.
You get, you will pay for it, but they won't do it. Yes. Even if they're doing it, it's not professional. Your song will be played, but for how long will it be played? Will you be able to get feedback? You get, there's more even to interview than just an interview of you sitting and saying, oh, naka vizuri, and that's the interview. You get, there's digging deeper and everything.
There's so much, because like I discovered there's no entertainment news coverage, which now makes me grateful for such forums. Yeah. Because at least as an artist I can speak. You get, there's so many things that are lacking within the Kenyan music industry. Not only music, even film, just art. Yeah. Kenyan art industry. That I feel if they would be better, we could go further. We could do better. Because I don't understand why politicians are the most popular people in this country. They don't really do much. But kuna msanii mazee anafeel anaandika ngoma for you.
Kuna even artists from outside who are bigger than our own artists in our own country. Because I think it's the support towards each other and how we just perceive our own artists. They're like, music yake, we don't even give each other chances, and which is not a good thing. We're going to go to branding. Brands. The word came up recently. So who are you? Like, who are you branding yourself to be?
I want to be seen as a musician. A musician, person who practices music. Yeah. In every single aspect. Music therapy, just music. You see me, you see music. The other thing I would like to be attached to me is love. I feel it's important. I feel like it's very important because there's kidogo love. Yeah, we need more love in the world in Kenya. The other thing I would like to be seen as a very good businessman, because with music it's very challenging, and even as you've said, you invest money in paying corporations to distribute your music for you. Yeah. But getting that money, it's very hectic, And as an artist, there are always pressures. You have to look good, you have to so unajiuliza nilipe corporation ama nilipe vizuri. You get.
Nikae vizuri social media niende photoshoots. You get.
Unajago sasa unaona yeah.
And I think that's where we also lose it, because when we are trying to cover an artist, ni vile amekaa. Si Kenya amebring on the table. So even if we are doing coverage, naulizwa, oh, picha yake, hana picha ya studio. And I'm like, but that's not what we are selling.
That's not what we're selling.
We are selling he's a live performer, he's a touring artist. So there's no problem with you having a photo of him holding a guitar and playing, you get? So I think we have lost focus with how people
because you find, and it's a truth, I know, and you can't lie to me because it's the truth. I've been in the industry for some time. There are so many artists who look good out here, drive very expensive cars, live in very expensive homes, but the mazi, they are broke. They're broke. Yani, tumefikisha sani point in we have to lie. I have to lie to you that I am making it so that you support me. You get? But the truth is, it's unsustainable because I have not made it.
True.
Therefore, I'll have to keep on lying for
so
you
you're
to keep
taking
on
loans, you are borrowing money.
And it's very unfortunate, you know. So, I feel focus on the content of it, because me, I won't lie to you, I've been underestimated for most of the opportunities I've had, like the first time opportunities. But the minute meshikao mic na meshikao guitar and if I can do,
like,
perspectives change.
Yeah. True.
So do that. What you your first reaction or impression of the artist. Let them showcase what they have first. Ukifeel kama ati yako chini waambie sasa.
Another thing is you're touring, right?
Yes.
I just want you to touch on which cities you're touring in.
I'm a touring artist. It's very hard to be a touring artist, and it's very rare in Kenya especially. Not many people tour. But I'm touring. I'll be touring with this is like a pre-tour and there'll be a post-tour. So the pre-tour basically is I'm touring as I'm releasing the EP, because I'm releasing the EP sometime next year. Just have to wait for it, the full project. But I'll be making releases of singles. And then now talk on the post-tour when I've finally released every song, and now I'll be touring with that. So currently I'm touring in 4, ingekuwa 5, but sikujua poleni watu wa Kisumu. Eldoret, Nairobi, Nakuru, and Diani. So those are the places I'll be playing. In that one? Yeah, Eldoret, Nairobi, Nakuru, Diani. Those are the places I'll be playing. I'll be touring in July. From the beginning, the first week of July to the last week of July. The final one will be in Diani. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
So the dates, 9th for Eldoret.
Yes.
16th
for Nairobi.
23rd
for Nakuru, and 29th for Diani.
Yes. With that, you are going to have a different experience.
Yes.
So normally when you're doing live, you don't only sing your songs, you sing covers. So what's so special about this time?
Isaya Live is going to be very interactive, because that's how Isaya Live will conceptualized. I started it when I was broke and I was desperate for money, so I just did it. And then someone came up and told me, I got 2 feedbacks that made me see it differently. One, someone told me, I think this event should be more, we should pay more than what we are paying. The quality is too good for what we are paying, so I think we should pay more. The second person told me that she's been going through something, and her being there has really, really helped her. And so I was like, okay, let's do this now. So, but Isaya Live usually is very interactive. I generally want to know your thoughts about things, about life. We're having a time, it's a discussion, it's a conversation, tunajibamba, sometimes I do covers in Isaya Live, sometimes I don't, but most of the songs that I'll be doing are original compositions. Not only that, we'll be having other artists from different places doing different things than what I'm doing, who'll be performing as well. We'll be having partners, different brands who will represent themselves and what they have to offer, because as I said, I believe in partnership. They're very important to me. So what because me haina haja ni kuja nikuambie juu ya cab company na me don't work for cab company, So we will be having different partners, we will be having different, itakuwa tu vibe.
So watu wakuje.
Above all, kutakuwa na chakula mzuri. Wherever you will come, the food will be good. As I can guarantee you.
Very important.
It's very important.
So on the same, it's so normally you have a vibe,
Yeah.
right? You connect with people and everything else. Are you planning to invite artists who are not just your artists, like your band? And how is it going to work?
Yes. I plan to invite. Of course, I have a criteria with picking who is going to come. There have to be people who genuinely are good, and are
The bar
visionaries.
should remain the same,
Yes.
or higher.
Yes, they are visionaries. They should either be better than me or as good as me.
Yeah.
You understand? I feel it's important. They can be bigger than me. Some of them probably will be bigger artists than me, but I feel like that's a good thing, because I don't believe in that bigger, smaller than,
True.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time, personally, for me. So it doesn't really matter. So, but I'll be inviting artists based on how invested they are in their own music, how invested they are in the vision of music. See what's part time who get to use change the parent. We get minimal and just for music. So it has to be someone who thinks like that,
I want you to talk about the ticketing and where they're buying their tickets.
So I got introduced to a very cool thing called Hustle Sasa. Very cool, because inanisaidia ku monitor the ticket sales, inanisaidia kujua exactly what's paid. Nowadays they have a very good system with ticketing where it's a QR thing. So ticket number 1 is ticket number 1, ticket number 2 is ticket number 2. All I have to do is scan it. So I'll be selling my tickets on Hustle Sasa. You can find the tickets at Jonny Isaya. I've forgotten how it's, but Hustle Sasa.
Yeah, Jonny Isaya.
Yeah, but you can find it in the description maybe. You can attach to the description. Yeah, so Jonny is, you click that link, it takes you directly to the site where you'll find not only the tickets, you will also find links, you'll also find my music, some of my music pieces, they're there. Something I want to tell people, because I don't think they know, every product I put on my Hustle Sasa Nini is a limited number. So unfortunately, it has run out. Like the Nini, which EP, I sing for Food EP, I put it last, it's sold out. So right now you can't get it anywhere unless you look for someone who has already bought it, which would be unfair when you tiaji. I want to get it for free. I want to get it for free. Yeah, but they're very affordable. I'm still currently selling Bona Radio, the HD quality version, and it's something I'll be doing with the EP as well. There'll be the versions, the album, the ones you can download that are different, a bit different. Basically, there'll be different versions of each song, so, and they will relate to you differently. So it depends on your true fans.
Tell me about the pricing of Bona Radio.
The pricing of Bona Radio only 60 shillings.
So very affordable.
Very affordable.
Anyone can get it.
High quality, very high quality. But please buy it quickly because they are selling out.
Because we're running out of time, I want you to tell us your platforms where we can get you.
So you can get me at.
So where can we find you?
So if you want to find me, you can find me at Jonny Isaya. The spelling to that is JONNY ISAYA. Isaya Waluya ya Bunyore, where I come from. We smoke weed, a lot of weed there.
But you don't.
But I don't. But that's the Jamaica in Kenya. Stoners. Nice idea. Yeah.
Okay, so those are the platforms that we can also.
Everywhere, Spotify, TikTok, everything. My music is everywhere, so you're not limited to only YouTube. You can find me everywhere. Add me to your playlist on Spotify, Deezer, iTunes, Apple Music, literally everywhere.
That is really nice. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This, I think this is going to be our episode 2 or 3, and I'm really glad because I think, have I given you a chance to speak your mind?
Yes, you have. I should invite you as a co-host next time.
You're welcome.
I should interview you.
Maybe you should. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate. As always, we are here to educate, entertain, empower, inspire, everything good. So keep watching us. Any episode that you haven't catch up, please do. And we would like your feedback. So if you think you have maybe an addition, maybe a contribution, what will do better even with maybe his music or our show, please leave your comment down below so that you can catch up. Thank you for being here. Have a lovely time.